Watching instant gratification influencers is mental masturbation. Now, there are many influencers now telling audiences that instant gratification is something that is weak and that you should not be indulging in. Now, what is their definition of instant gratification? Now, it can be objectively described as the desire to experience pleasure or fulfillment without any delay or deferment. It involves seeking a quick and easy solution rather than one that requires effort or the results of which are delayed. It is a behaviour driven by impulsive and short-term thinking, which is a fair enough description. Examples of this kind of behaviour that they often cite include things like eating fast food, scrolling through social media, playing video games, drinking alcohol, procrastination, skipping a workout, watching porn. But the problem arises because these influencers are often, most of the time, indulging in their own forms of instant gratification, and they tend to attract audiences seeking quick results and a gratification of the senses. And they create content aimed at this weakness that they, of course, recognise in themselves. Now, examples of this include showing off, bragging and boasting. You know, mine's bigger than yours, mine's faster than yours, mine costs more than yours, I'm have more money than you, I'm a player, I'm in the top 1%. Seeking validation and recognition. Yes, they are 1%. They are 1% men without any real substance, which means they have to constantly fucking tell you this 10 times a fucking day to convince themselves, or is that to convince you? Now, another form, one of the most common forms of instant gratification for men in the modern world is using PEDs. It takes too long to develop a physique naturally, and you can get almost instant, quick fucking results. Instant gratification. Now, constantly posting on social media. I took an ice bath today. I relapsed on NoFap. This is weak, indulgent behaviour. If you take cold baths or cold showers, take the fucking shower. Do you really need to seek validation for it? You relapsed on NoFap and had a wank. You know, does anyone really need to know about this? You know, I took a shower today. I also didn't remember to comb my hair. Does this make any difference? Do I care? Do you care? It's all mental masturbation. Now, having an options or a selection of women is another form of instant gratification. Often they are buying these women and buying these women company, like subscribers to OnlyFans, which of course they tell you, the audience, not to do. You know, even a guy looking like a male version of Camilla Parker Bowles can get female company when they pay for it. It is being weak, needy, seeking instant gratification for being recognised as a player. In reality, you are not players, you are payers. Now, there is now even an emerging gratification influencer industry. You can rent an Airbnb mansion for the day, a sports car by the hour or the day, a film studio that looks like the inside of a private jet, and you can show off the fake watch that you bought from wish.com. And there are even many rent a girlfriend or girlfriends services for these guys to show off their less than 1% status in their videos, and there are no end of loyal subscribers who mentally ejaculate in the comments, oh, you saved my life, bro, thanks to you, I have the grind set mindset, you are a real inspiration. This is all mental masturbation. Now, if we were to look at some video titles, typical video titles that you get: transform your physique in 30 days, rewire your brain in minutes, this supplement will increase your testosterone by 400%, as opposed to Transform your physique in 2 to 3 years with consistent hard work and dedication. Transform your mind with years of dedicated self-observation and practice. Optimize your testosterone by doing many different things simultaneously. This will take some effort from you. Which group of videos would get more views? And the answer is obvious, because we live in a society infected with a need for fast results and instant gratification. This defines and forms the basis for the widely held belief that modern men are weak. A man has no need for gratification. He can take it or leave it. It's all the same to him. Now, which one of those two groups of previously mentioned videos would bring you more effective and permanent results? Again, the answer is obvious, but nobody wants to put in that extra time or effort. It takes hundreds of hours of practice to gain any level of proficiency in anything. It takes thousands of hours of practice to gain any significant level of mastery in anything. And this, of course, is a well-known fact, but it does not stop many from continuing to follow instant gratification gurus promising fast results, trying to be tough, disciplined and dangerous, but not realizing that they are deluded and just gratifying their own senses. And to anyone sensible, making a fool of themselves in public. And instant gratification in all forms can have a negative effect. It can lead to making poor choices, an obvious one being the taking of PEDs to get that quicker and better result, as opposed to the longer and harder natural route. That's a poor choice, because you will ruin your health and well-being. You will destroy your balls and cease to function hormonally as a man. This lack of insight and lack of proper planning often leads to not getting exactly what is wanted or desired. Often when people are looking to be more masculine, these days it seems to be, whacking up some PEDs, growing a fucking beard and a couple of gym sessions thrown in, for good measure. Oh, I'm masculine, I'm disciplined. This suits them perfectly, because all the time you are down, you are easier to monetize and you are easier to sell false dreams to, easier to manipulate. You're nothing more than sheep who are engaging in mental masturbation. Now, marketers and influencers design ads and videos on this concept of instant gratification. They know people have difficulty waiting and are not disciplined enough to wait. Some even suggest that if you wait before making your purchase to the masterclass or get rich quick scheme or whatever it is they're selling, then it might lead to the product becoming unavailable or even being at a higher price if you don't get it before such and such a date. Sometimes it's suggested that it would be great to be among the first to get this product. This leads to many people posting on social media platforms to show the world that they have this or that new thing, which of course is instant gratification of the senses, and they are copying these clowns that are promoting these ideals as fucking normal behaviour. Now, the opposite concept of instant gratification, which is delayed gratification, putting off your desire to gain an even better reward or result. Now, an example of this is the 2 to 3 years that it takes to naturally transform your physique, which of course will bring you more long-term benefits, and you're not going to destroy your balls in the process. Now, the root cause of instant gratification lies in what the psychologist Sigmund Freud called the pleasure principle, and by this he meant the conscious mind that is driven by the base instincts for pleasure, the state of identification, the ego or the lesser self. In reality, the urge of short-term pleasure is a tough temptation to avoid, and takes a level of inner will or discipline to achieve. Now, why? It is a desire to avoid any delay. It's difficult to engage in self-denial. You feel the urge but are trying to deny that urge. Our instincts are to seize any opportunity for pleasure, and this of course requires a level of discipline to resist. Uncertainty or self-doubt can play a role in this, a lack of self-belief. This uncertainty can cause us to value the less beneficial but more immediate result over the more beneficial and long-term result. Now, age is another factor. Younger people have a tendency to act more impulsively, while older people with more life experience and more insight are better able to delay and control their urges. Mind power. Choosing a delayed gratification requires the ability to envision your future and to set goals and make plans to achieve those goals. If you cannot do this, then you lack the motivation to follow through and stick to the plan. This leaves you wide open to falling for instant gratification. Cognitive capacity. Higher levels of intelligence are linked to more forward-thinking perspectives. Those who possess the intelligence to think for themselves are more likely to have a tendency to see the benefits of delayed gratification and then act accordingly than those who blindly follow and who need their thinking done for them ready-made. Poverty and hardship is often a factor that is played upon as well. You are more likely to forego any future long-term benefits if you have immediate basic needs. Now, this is the thing that lures many into these instant gratification, get-rich-quick schemes that many are fooled into. This belief that you need to be, have a load of money to pay for female company. You don't. Emotional regulation. Emotional disorder and emotional distress will give you a stronger tendency to make choices that will immediately improve your mood. Those who have an ingrained lack of emotional regulation responses, a lack of emotional self-control, and most of these influencers who preach about instant gratification are highly guilty of this. Their obsession with constantly seeking validation demonstrates this clearly, and following their advice and their behaviour patterns will put you at a much higher risk of being tempted by the instant gratification they are offering you if only you will sign up. Another thing to consider is moods. Even with regulated emotions, moods can fluctuate. You can have bad moods, be suffering with grief, sadness, even boredom. And this can all serve to make immediate desires become more appealing. Anticipation. We tend to prefer to anticipate positive things and dislike the anticipation of negative things. Now, this can lead to choices to either put things off or to engage in them right away in order to seek pleasure or to avoid any discomfort. So it seems that those preaching about the instant gratification, grindset, mindset and discipline niche are among the worst offenders for indulging in instant gratification and to be lacking any emotional self-control and lacking any real levels of discipline. If you are following influencers like these, then you are just indulging in the forms of mental masturbation that they engage in themselves and are promoting to you. Is it any wonder that women are now complaining that real men are getting harder to find when, this is how men are being influenced? Now, the solution is to gain more mental and emotional self-control, to become more present and aware. But of course, this is not easy to obtain, and many will be put off because there are no quick hacks or shortcuts to achieving this mental state. The calm and centered being takes dedicated practice, and any results are delayed and they never come easy. This is what discipline is all about. Subscribe to this channel and follow this series for more.